The sun is setting right behind me, and Dakota's up there taking some pictures. But it's a lot of work. I really need to do something with my hair. But this is a lot of work, camping on the beach. I think it's way more work than camping in the woods. But it's so worth it. You know, right now, the sun is setting. The ocean is there. The waves are crashing. It does not get much better than this. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about Portsmouth Island. Dakota and I went to Portsmouth Island back in May for Memorial Day weekend. My best friend and I, Teresa, we did this trip last year, and I had such a good time that Dakota was like, that's some bull, I want to go too. So this year we planned to go together and had an amazing time. But what I want to talk to you guys about today is how to survive Portsmouth Island. Portsmouth Island is not for the faint of heart. So this is 10 things, 10 tips to help you survive Portsmouth Island. First, insect repellent. I'm not talking about mosquito repellent, insects, bugs, anything to prevent bugs. You need it. One of the things that we learned, the only thing that really deterred the bugs was building a fire. Like the smoke that the fire creates, it really does help repel the insects. The bugs are no joke in Portsmouth Island. So whether you need to bring long sleeves, but protect yourself against the bugs. 2, you need a good tent. Some little $30 tent from Walmart is not going to work at Portsmouth Island. We have an REI Kingdom 6 with the attached garage. I also used it last year when I went, and the tent held up pretty good. Last year there was a tropical storm coming through the island. We made it through. This year when we went in the last night, there were winds upwards of 70, 80 miles per hour. We survived. Now there was a caveat to this, because we did have some issues with our tent. For whatever reason, we didn't put our guidelines out properly. So make sure when you set your tent up, you put your guidelines out properly and make sure that everything is aligned and your tent is really sturdy. We just had to go out in the rain, in the storm, and anchor the tent down.
It went bad, y'all.
I don't know why, but I didn't accommodate for the wind changing direction and at the beach. You need some sand stakes. Sand stakes. The little stakes that come with your tent, I recommend that you just throw those away when you buy them, no matter where you're camping. Typically we use some, they look essentially like a big nail with a little plastic tip on the end, but they're about 10 inches long. That's what we typically use. But this time we used a sand stake. They were maybe like $1.20 from Walmart. So they were same length, maybe like 12 inches, and they had like a little plastic screw on the bottom. I'll put a picture or a link or something to the stakes that we bought, but those were amazing. Last year when we went, Teresa and I, we made sandbags out of grocery bags, and that's how we staked our tent down. It was so much work, but our tent did not move. So if you don't want to buy sand stakes, do something like a sandbag. Number 4, beverages and water. I know I didn't mention this before, but the one thing that I love about Portsmouth Island is that you essentially have to be fairly self-sufficient the entire time that you're on the island. You bring everything with you. Water to drink, water to cook with, water to bathe with, food to eat. There are no stores on the island. This area is considered a national forest, so they do have a ranger station. At the ranger station, they have maps of the island. They have the regular bags of crushed ice, and then they also have blocks of ice. So a lot of people like to fish. Gas and ice are the only thing that you can purchase on the island. Next, I kind of mentioned it before, but sunscreen. You are outside on an island. There are no trees on the beach. Clearly, you're on the beach. And you need to bring something to protect yourself from the sun. Sunscreen or some type of beach umbrella or a tent. You know, we have the luxury of sitting up under our garage, but we also have one of those big beach umbrella things that you can also lay it down and make a little shelter of. So we had that. You guys know that we are more on the glampier side of camping. Although I like to sleep in a tent, I don't really like to rough it. I like some of the luxuries that come with living in my house, like a toilet and a shower. Just saying. So we brought enough water that we could use our camp shower. Our camp shower, it is a small 2-room tent where we can hang our water bladder up and shower off. After you've been outside, covered in insect repellent and sunscreen, in the heat, you desperately want to wash off. They do have restroom facilities over by the park ranger station. They have men's and women's bathrooms and showers. Make sure you have a plan to shower. If you plan to use your own shower, make sure you take plenty of water. We had probably 20 gallons of water at our disposal just for showering. And this is not a shower that you would take at home where you just relax and sit under the water. This is like more of a functional shower. You wet off, you soap your washcloth up, wash, and then you rinse off. But it feels so good. So good after a long hot day. I know Dakota left some of you guys hanging on the video. The reason that I wanted to shower before the sunset is because once the sun sets, more bugs come out. If y'all follow me and Dakota, you know we love to eat. So make sure you bring you some good food. I always feel like enjoying some good food makes sleeping outside 100 times better. This time we did like spiralized spaghetti squash. We had broccoli, shrimp, chicken. We did some hot dogs. We did a lot of various things, and we cooked on an open fire. Food brings me to the next item. We have our little Coleman stove, which works great. We typically use that for breakfast, but we also brought wood. And you know, actually, I'm making an executive decision right now. I'm bumping wood up to number 2 just because it's so important. So wood, you need it for your insect repellent, and you need it as a cooking source. When you read about Portsmouth Island, they do say that you can pick up driftwood off of the beach, but there's not a lot of it. So do yourself a favor and bring some wood. There's a road on behind the dunes that you can also drive up and down, and keep your eyes open for wood. Number 9, you need a 4-wheel drive. If you haven't watched our video, Overlanding in Portsmouth Island, take a look at it. You can have tons of fun by just driving Portsmouth Island. It provided hours of entertainment, like we burned through a full tank of gas driving on Portsmouth Island, just because it's so much fun. Driving up and down the dunes, driving along the beach, driving through the road. I use the word road loosely, that gets to Portsmouth Village. The reason that I use this word so loosely is because the road is flooded. Do you hear me? The road is flooded. If you don't have a legit 4-wheel drive, I would try it. That brings me to my last point. 10 things to survive Portsmouth Island. The 10th thing that you need to enjoy Portsmouth Island is just a willingness to explore. It is a 13-mile island, I believe, and while we were there, we covered pretty much the entire 13 miles. Drove through the water to get to Portsmouth Village. We didn't explore Portsmouth Village because I was afraid of the mosquitoes. I'll admit, I'm scared. I had already been bitten enough. I didn't want to be bitten anymore. So we skipped that part. We saw 2 sea turtles that had died and washed up on the beach. You know, they talk about how massive the ocean is and how big stuff is in the ocean. That is big. You want to know who would like that? My niece Camden. She loves animals. She loves everything. And this is a shameless plug for her because she wanted me to give her a shout out. Go to Portsmouth Island with an open mind. It's truly a deserted island. You bring everything on with you. You can't get off the island until your ferry is scheduled. I have a bonus one for you guys. Number 11. In order to enjoy Portsmouth Island, you have to have ferry reservations. You cannot show up and think you're going to get on the island. You need to call 2 months in advance to make your reservations to get onto the island. It's a huge destination for fishermen, and then just people like us that want to camp and explore and enjoy themselves. Contact Morris Marina. They're right on the mainland, and they'll provide your ferry service to get to Portsmouth Island and back home round trip. The cost varies depending on the size of your vehicle. So go have fun, enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy these excerpts of Nicole and I's trip from Portsmouth Island. And if you have any questions, or if you want to share your own experience with the island, feel free to leave a comment in the comment box below. And as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe.